Welcome to the We Make Pops podcast. I am Andy, aka Sleepyhead Customs. I'm joined with Lewis, aka LV Custom Pops, and today we have a special guest. We have augieomfg, aka Augie. How is it going, man? How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited to be here with you guys. Yeah.
Dude, same here. Dude, we're so pumped. So tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you start getting into custom pops?
Oh man. Okay. I was expecting these questions. All right. So let's see. Well, I mean, I just started making them a little under a year. I think I had spoke to you earlier, and I think I told you like May of last year.
Hmm.
Um, but before I started making customs, I already had like a background of like art, like I make music and I do digital art ever since I was little. Like I just always been into art, so it's just kind of like it's been a thing for me, you know.
That's
uh,
amazing. No,
yeah.
yeah. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say just like custom pops. Doing like customizing just kind of came naturally, like with the painting and the sculpting. It kind of just like yeah.
Well, and we always want to ask, whenever we talk to customizers, especially someone who already has a background in art, was the leap because you were already a collector and you wanted to like have more things in your collection, or was it someone who wanted a commission? What I guess where did you start with pops and how did the transition happen?
Dang, I don't even know like how to answer that. Let's see. Because the first custom I did was for some guy. He was a coach for a football team or something like that, and he collected Funko Pops, and I had collected Funko Pops before, but I didn't really have that many, and he was just like, "Oh, it would be cool if you made me a Funko Pop," or like, and I was like, "Oh, sure, like I can do that." So I started making him one, and obviously it was kind of like it was all right looking, and then it kind of just started from there. And once I started like doing customs for people, that's how I originally started, like making customs of like regular people. Then like I started looking at pops that like didn't exist, like a bunch of Naruto ones or just like in general, just things like that. And then yeah, and then I just wanted to like make the ones that weren't available out there, you know?
So
That's awesome.
when I look over your page, I see a lot of Naruto, and as you can tell, Naruto is like my jam. That is by far my favorite anime. So I have to ask because I do see a lot of Naruto. Are you in the same boat? Are you also like a hardcore Naruto fan?
Yeah, honestly, like I didn't used to watch anime and stuff, and I was on YouTube just like random clips of Naruto came up, and then it was just like okay, like let me try it out. And so I started watching Naruto and like I was hooked. And Naruto is like my favorite anime, so that's why like I mainly dab on Naruto because I'm just like I'm in love with it, you know? Yeah.
Dude, that's what's up. Dude, that's awesome. And there's so many characters to pull from too, and that they haven't even made yet. Like that's what's awesome about that anime
Yeah.
specifically is you can keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There,
No, I've also seen that you make your customs and then you also bring it to be signed by the voice actors. I think the first one I saw from you was the kid Obito, and then you
so
brought it to be signed, right?
yeah, so that was one of the first like Naruto Funko Pops that I did. It was Obito, and somebody bought him from me, and they went to go get it signed by the voice actor of Kid Obito, and they took a video, so that's how that came about.
Got you.
That is so surreal. Like it just seems so like I've had a couple customs when I went to the Denver Fan Fest. That like Christopher Sabat was there, and one of the All Mights he signed I had customized, and he was like, "Oh,
Uh,
that's really cool." So like just even having that like the voice actor see your artwork is like so cool, especially when they comment on it and they're like, "This is awesome." And yeah, no, that's pretty surreal for sure.
yeah, you know that feeling. It's a good feeling.
One day, I've said, I'm gonna bring over one of these Chainsaw Man ones over, to get signed by the voice actor Deji. One of these days. That's the goal.
Yes, I've seen the ones you made. They're pretty sick, not gonna lie.
I appreciate it.
I approve.
Now outside of Naruto, I've seen you make a few other anime ones. Which ones I guess were passion projects that you just wanted for yourself? I've seen that some of them were like pre-made commissions. I guess kind of walk us through like how do you decide how to do a project?
Okay, so I mean, I just have like a list of things that I have down. I'm like, oh, sometimes like I'm out and I see Funko Pops like on the shelves, like at the stores, and I'm like, I just like picture a Funko like made out of it, like my own like creation out of it. Like if I'm walking by and I see like a Funko with like goggles on, I'll be like, oh, I can make Obito out of that, or like little pieces like that. Dang, I carried away from the question.
No,
I
no,
forgot what it was. What was your question?
just what's your process? How do you decide how to make stuff for your own shelf? Are most of your customs made through commissions? Just how do you choose to do a project?
Gotcha. Okay. So then going back to Obito, I made him because I when I saw the anime and I saw the kid Obito like little arc, I was like, oh my God, this is such a cool like character. Like he's one of my favorite characters. And I was like, I want to make a Funko Pop of this because there is none. And so it's usually like stuff like that, like characters that I'm drawn to, and I'm like, oh, there's not a Funko Pop for it. So um yeah, that's how that goes about that. And then usually like people will be like, oh, you should make this, or like people commission me, and then that's how I start getting into other animes and stuff. Like that's how I got into like um the Jujutsu Kaisen and like Konosuba. I don't know if you guys ever heard Konosuba, but it's like these other like little animes that I would never even think about. And then like I start watching them because people commission me to like make the characters. And yeah.
I love that. Especially with Jujutsu Kaisen. We have season 2 coming out soon, which is super exciting.
So exciting.
Andy,
Yeah.
Andy got me reading the manga, so I've seen what's coming, and I'm so excited. I was telling him customs I already know that I want to make from season
Mhm.
2, and um, oh man, Jujutsu Kaisen. Are you a manga reader, or are you just watching the anime?
I haven't got into manga, but I have watched the whole season of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I've watched like just mainly not manga.
Yeah. No, trust me. I was ask Andy. I was right there with you. I just happened to have some more free time, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get this tablet and I'm gonna start reading. I'll tell you if Jujutsu Kaisen is one that you're a fan of, season 2 is gonna you're gonna have a lot to work on. I promise you.
There's so many characters. Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yesterday, the voice actor of Yuji Itadori was saying something about that too, like saying that the next season's gonna be like really, really good. So
Oh yeah.
He is correct. It's gonna be so awesome.
I just want to talk about it, but like I can't spoil it.
That's
yeah.
so amazing. So walk us through a little bit so you talked a little bit about how you'll find bits and pieces you want to put together. What types of mediums for our audience, so you can let them know what do you use when you make your custom pops?
I guess just like usually it's like I think LV does. I think you've made videos where like you take two pops and then you mash them up together, right?
Yeah.
I think that was you. You made like cool little videos like that, which I thought was really awesome. I basically do the same thing. Like I'm out looking like if I have a custom in mind, like okay, I want to make like um let's say I don't even know, like my Hinata. Like I have this waifu Hinata, like the sexy Hinata that I use. I'll get a character that has like kind of like hair, like the bangs like Hinata, like chopped up, and then um I would sculpt the back of the hair since it's not like available on that pop, and then I would get another body and then like mash it together and then add in bits and pieces of what I'm missing. I'm always like looking out for pops that kind of have similarities to like the project that I'm working on. Yeah.
You
Dude,
are
that's
preaching to the
awesome.
choir.
Yeah, that's what Lewis has taught me because I haven't been into making them too much recently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not recently, as long as I've just been customizing them. But yeah, putting them together has been such a fun new endeavor because, like you said, you go out shopping and you're like, you see different pops that you're not really interested in, but you see the bits and pieces where you're like, I could use that.
Yeah.
And it's just such a fun like new adventure to do that because Lewis has been doing this for a while. That's how you've been doing it since you started basically mixing these pops together.
Yeah.
And so that's a different type of project that I think is so much fun because yeah, you can create these new characters that nobody has yet. And so like we did a couple from Chainsaw Man,
Yeah,
Um,
they're really cool.
I'm gonna work on an Anya one coming up. I'm still working up the nerve for it because I don't want it's for my daughter, so I'm like, I need this to be absolutely perfect. And so
Gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
so it's so yeah, no, that type of project is really fun.
Yes, yes. I've seen the Chainsaw Man ones that you guys have made, and they're really, really cool. I mean, well, LV has made some. I'm not. I think you recently did. You recently make one?
For me,
Yeah.
yeah, I have a few. I have like the Denji with the axe, and then
Okay.
an Aki with the cigarette, and then
I
yeah,
remember
and then
now. I
yep,
remember now. Okay,
yep,
okay. Yes. The one that really stood out to me from LV was I think it was Denji with the chainsaw like head, and he was like breaking through a building or something. I thought that was like really
Oh,
creative.
the fox with the fox coming through the building.
I think it was something like that. It was like something breaking the building. I thought that one was really
yep.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's his Aki with the fox demon. Yeah, he's coming through. Yeah, I love how he did it too because he just cut out the pieces, the rubble,
Yeah,
and then he like mashed it through.
it was really nice.
Have you seen Chainsaw Man?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I love Chainsaw Man. It's like it's really good. Um,
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah.
I guess it's kind of cliche. Denji's like my favorite character, but maybe it's not cliche.
No, dude,
Um,
no. It kind of takes a minute to get into it a little bit, right? Like you kind of are like, I don't know if I like this, and then you start to see more and more, and you're like, I actually really like this. It's
yeah,
so funny how it goes.
definitely. It's definitely like that. Yeah.
Well, and, we were talking about, like you watched Naruto and you were like, oh wow, I love this anime, and I saw you did the Seven Deadly Sins. I'm not sure if you like that one. I would say Denji probably lines up morally probably a lot more along the lines of Meliodas than he does Naruto in the sense that, he has one goal. All Denji wants to do is just, go around groping and eating his bread with jam. And it's just, it's a real mold breaker from, the popular animes. And I wasn't sure if I was going to like it at first. And then, you see him chainsaw out the first time. You're like, wow, this is all of a sudden, one of my favorites.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Jujutsu Kaisen because there's that guy who like tells Yuji, he's like, what's like your favorite thing about women or something like that,
Yep.
right? And then he's talking about the boobs and stuff, and it just reminded me very much of that.
Oh,
It's so
yeah.
yeah, no, for sure.
Toto.
That's one of our favorite parts with Toto. They become best friends. I
Yeah.
love that. That's one of the biggest switches. It's so funny too because that like the whole time up to that point, he was just whooping on everybody, and he was just like taking no name, just whooping everyone. And then yeah, that's when he answered correctly, and they become best friends. That's amazing.
Yes.
Now I'm peeking at your background here, so I see that you got all of your stuff out there. Is that your workstation?
My workstation's a mess. That's like my Naruto collection right there. And some
Dude,
other stuff. Yeah.
So
But
I see that you got like all your paints and stuff. And so is that where you normally do most of your projects and whatnot?
it's like another desk that I have to the side of me, but
Oh,
yeah, it's like all messed up right now, and I don't even think I can get the camera to point that direction because I'm on my computer. But my it's basically I just have like my desk and I just have a bunch of like clay stuff and paint on there. I'm pretty sure your guys' look the same.
oh, it's the exact same. I was gonna say no, there's no shame in it because that's exactly how ours is as well. I have this bucket. Look at this thing. This is all my paint pens. They're all falling out and stuff. It's my paint pens and the projects I'm working on, and it's just a mess in there, dude. There
That's
is no
funny.
shame.
yeah.
I think you can see right there in the back here. I have like my paints. I
Yep.
have this whole like cart full of paints. I mean, I use that, and honestly, I don't even use as much clay as I thought I would. Like, um, I feel like when I mash up my pops, I try to get them as similarly as possible, and then just like kind of paste everything together, add limbs and stuff, and then I think that makes it kind of look more clean too when you already kind of have like the pops kind of looking like what you wanted them to look like originally. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great point. And it's so cool too, because looking at your pops, especially I don't know why the Jogo sticks out to me so much. I love that character so much. And yours is so amazing. And I love it because it looks so smooth. It looks like it's not by clay. That's one thing. Like that's why I wanted to ask you what stuff you use because you could have fooled me. It looks like 3D printed. you never know nowadays, like what people are doing. So it's some of them are so good now, but yours are so smooth with the clay, and that's something that really sticks out to me.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna reveal a secret here then. With that, um, maybe you guys have heard of it, maybe you guys haven't, but there is this thing called the clay softener. It's like this clear liquid. It's by the Sculpey brand. Do I have it on here? Give me a second. Kind of looks like this. Well,
Okay.
it's like a clear thing, and basically, I use clay, and I use that super Sculpey like softening liquid, and I use a brush to like take off the fingerprints or to just like make things really, really smooth.
That's amazing. That is a good tip. No, thank you so much, because that's something we absolutely love sharing those types of tips with everyone, because it's work smarter, not harder, right? So it's stuff like that that is amazing. So that's awesome. They come out so smooth. That's one thing that I absolutely love about yours. And so yeah, so just that, what is it called again?
It's like it's called Super Sculpey Clay Softener.
Clay softener.
And
Awesome.
it's this clear, like watery liquid. It's like has oils in it. And so like when I'm done sculpting something, I would just like pour it on the thing and use like a brush to like take off the fingerprints and like any like inconsistencies. That really helps. And obviously like sanding, but I hate sanding because of all the dust. So that helps me to like almost never sand. Yeah.
What I used to do is I would take like a paper towel and put acetone on it and do it, and it did kind of the same thing, but you always run the risk of damaging the pop just a bit. Like I
Yeah.
had one that I had to keep acetoning, and I ended up losing like the tip of the nose.
Oh
So
no.
always always a little afraid to do that. But I didn't even know that was a thing. I've been using clay for so long now, and I've never heard of that. So that's gonna be that's gonna be a game changer now.
Yeah. Also, I guess while I'm on here giving out tips and stuff, what kind of clay do you use or do you guys use?
I use the Super Sculpey.
Hmm.
That's the best
Yeah,
one.
that's the same one that I use as well. Yeah, that's the one that Lewis was telling me to get. And yeah, it works super well. I like the different consistencies of it too, because yeah, depending on how what project you're working on, you kind of want parts that are going to be more stable or whatnot. But no, that's awesome. So do you use wires like Lewis will sometimes, like he stick it on pieces, or how do you do yours?
That's actually really smart. I've seen some of your videos, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. I think that's a really good idea because it adds more stability to your Funko. But I have yet to do that. Unless like I'm doing things like the line on a fishing rod or like like little like I think Bond from Seven Deadly Sins on his little like nunchuck thing. I used a wire and then I built like little clay clumps on it to like do the little nunchuck pieces.
Oh,
But
okay.
other than that, I don't really like use the wire, not because just because it doesn't occur to me to do it. Yeah.
The only reason I actually started using the wire was because in some of the pieces that I had that I was making, working with the clay, if you don't put it on, either super thick or connected to the pop, like the shark that I did, right, where it has the fins coming off. If
Oh
you
yeah.
looked at that thing wrong, those fins would have fallen off. The clay would have snapped. And so I like using the wire to kind of just give it that extra stability and keep it in place. But when you're doing like head sculpts and stuff like that, you don't normally need too much extra support. I did for Makima because I had to do a whole bunch of stuff to the head, but yeah, normally it's not like a required step in my experience.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something for a lot of bigger projects like that shark. Yours is a lot, you do just the pop itself. And it's very yours almost looks very delicate as well though, because you do some of like you did the Mitsuri, and
Oh,
she has like the bubbles and stuff, and like some of them could be so delicate almost, so where you're like gotta have those
yes.
pieces on so right so they don't fall off.
Yeah, I've had times where like I'll take off the body parts and then like I'll try to put them back like well when you heat up, I don't know if you guys boil the Funko Pops or like
Hmm.
I usually
Awesome.
put them in the oven like that for like a few minutes, like a minute or two. and then it'll get like really squishy and stuff. And then I take it out, and sometimes I remove the body parts because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna extend this or like take this off. So I take it off, and then I end up putting it back just the way it was. And then sometimes like the pieces will like break off because it's like super like sensitive, like you said, or like delicate.
Yeah.
So when that happens, like I just try to use like clay as well to like stick the pieces back together and then like paint it to like cover it up. But I think, what were you saying, the wire? I don't even know where this is going anymore.
No, we're just talking about, yeah, just the delicate pieces. Yeah, it's definitely difficult to keep them on. I'm a super glue guy. I'm just gonna like, I super glue everything just to keep it on there, and that's worked pretty well. I just try not to look at it too hard so that it doesn't fall off. But
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
that. I feel that.
oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I understand that. I use super glue a lot too.
Yeah, I use the Loctite super glue. That like the little blue vial that has like the really thin nozzle.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and that's works great for me. The only issue that I've had with that is if you accidentally put too much, it can discolor the pop. So like I glue and then paint because otherwise I run the risk of that. If you were to watch me outside of like the videos where I put where the parts in that I want to put in, you'll notice a lot of what I'm doing is I do stuff, I see how it messed up, and I take it apart and I do it again. It's a lot of trial and error.
I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, definitely. Always glue before you paint. Yeah.
that's so
So
funny. I oh no, go ahead, Lewis.
no, you go, you go. I'll go next.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, because it depend it's so hard because I kind of do it. I take the pieces apart, I'll paint them, and then super glue them on. But you're right, there are some times where they don't go back together quite like they were, or because it's hardened, it's not as malleable as it used to be. So you're like, I have a
Yeah,
few pops. There's like there's creases in their shoulders, and I'm like trying to jam it in there. So
that's
yeah, no,
funny.
it's definitely a fun adventure putting them back together.
Definitely, definitely.
So looking at your page, I know that you said that you do other types of art. So I noticed that you of course have quite a large following on your page. Is that from your other endeavors like the music and digital art?
Yeah, so it goes way back, guys. Like I started making music, like augieomfg came from, that was my artist name. Like I used to actually play shows. Like I produce my own music too, and like I record my own music. And when I was like 18 or 19, I like was making a lot of music albums, and I would play some shows like around my area. And that's kind of like where all that following originally came from. I think like my first like 5,000 followers like came from that, like accumulation of everything that I got to that point. And then I slowly started transitioning out of like music for some reasons. Like I just like hmm first, like some health reasons. Like I couldn't really like hear music really loud anymore because it would like make me really dizzy, like vertigo. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but
Yeah.
so sadly I had to transition out of music, and then I went into digital art. And then when that commission from that guy with the football team came, then that's kind of like where I found like my new outlet for like art. And then it just kind of went from there.
And so I see a few art pieces in your background here. Are those all things that you made?
Oh, those, yeah. They're characters that I was gonna make. Um, like I have them sculpted and stuff. They're not Funko Pops or anything. They're like actual like sculpts. And then I had created a bunch of those characters. Um, I was gonna release them, but then it was just like a lot. Since I do everything, well, you guys too, everyone does things on their own usually, and like it's a lot to like, it's a lot.
Dude, for
Sometimes.
sure. No, for sure. That's something that I've struggled with, definitely just keeping up with just the content part of it. You want to be interesting and you want
Oh
everyone to
yeah.
keep engaged, and you don't want that's something that like it's so hard not to let your follower count like affect you, because you're like, sometimes when you're at the lower, I'm at about like 700 some, you notice like the ones that go away and you're like, well, what did I do? You're like, I don't
Yeah.
know what I was doing wrong. So yeah, it definitely can get into your head, and it's something that you gotta be interesting and do new shots, and yours come out really great. Where do you take your pictures when you do your
Um, so yeah, I think when it comes to customs and just products in general, like um the pictures that you take are really important, you know? So honestly, I have like this shelf where I put all my clothes in. They're like little bins, they're like little squares. And in one bin that I have empty, I have like a little stand, and then I just put my Funko Pop there since it's like already closed off in a box. And then I'll use like a ring light and then my camera to take my phone camera to take the pictures and stuff. And
No way. No,
and
they
then
come
yeah,
out super great. They look
thank you.
super
Yeah.
nice. But yeah, no, I get, it's definitely overwhelming. That's something that I've been struggling with even just now, just like trying to get those projects going and trying to keep it fun. And but you also kind of get burned out a little bit because you're like, ugh,
Oh yeah.
it's the burnout is so real. And so yeah, no, it's definitely something that can affect us artists, especially, I mean, the creative process is, can be so powerful or so overwhelming. And so it's like you can have too many ideas or you feel like you're blocked up. And so, yeah, no, it can definitely get overwhelming. We totally get that for sure.
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like even just thinking of all your ideas becomes a lot. And then sometimes you become like you're just frozen, like, oh, okay, I want to make all this stuff, but then you just don't do anything.
Mhm.
Well, and I
Um,
find that a lot of times I'm almost subconsciously fighting the urge to like cater to but also not like disregard what my audience is looking for. So when I started doing the Chainsaw Man ones, yeah, you remember like I was putting out like a lot of them back to back,
a
and
lot.
oh, you're right. A lot of people were used to like the Naruto stuff, the Dragon Ball stuff. And so, one of those things that like, I was excited. I was posting all these Chainsaw Man ones, and I saw like a few, I would post one and then I'd lose a couple followers. And I'd be like, maybe it's time to stop doing Chainsaw Man ones. But then it's like, I have more ideas that I want to put out. And so having to talk myself into still making the projects that I wanted to make, and letting the audience come and go as they will. That was something that I had to learn because this is really my first time, getting into any kind of social media like this. So
Yeah.
it's been a learning experience for sure.
Um, I will say this, I think that when you were releasing your pops, I was looking at like you were popping up on my newsfeed, and I thought that all your pops were coming out really cool, you know. I
Well, thank you.
I really like them. And I feel like at some point, yeah, you do try to cater to like your audience, but I think the more you like stick to like what you love, like the right people will come, you know. And it's kind of like a little bit of balance, like a little bit of both, but definitely always do like what you like to do, because then at the end of the day, you know, you're the one who's going to be like happy with what you're doing, because burnout is real. The other day I had
Mhm.
to literally just be a potato all day because I was just back to back releasing Funko Pops, and I was like, oh, like I'm so burnt out. And like I love making Funko Pops, and like I don't want to be burnt out. So it's a balance of things, you know. Yeah.
I've
Dude,
had a
that's
few
crazy.
times.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's exactly where I'm at right now. It's just like 100%. Like just like, like I have so many project ideas and I can't do any of them. So yeah,
Yes.
no, I feel you, man. It's definitely a real thing. And it's just, yeah, I think it comes to that artist part of us where it's just we have so much, I think, more emotion and stuff that kind of goes into it than you would think. And so it kind of uses that energy and it just, man, you can burn out really easy. So keep at it, man, because we love your custom pops. We don't want you to give up. We love seeing them.
No, yeah, thank you. That I mean, I'm definitely gonna keep doing them. Like it's my passion, and yeah, like if I burn out, like obviously just take your days off, take your breaks, because it's necessary. But yeah,
I was telling Andy, I have a few of the parts for a project that I've been working on. I'm still waiting on one part because Makari is fickle when it comes to shipping.
yeah,
uh, but yeah, I have a few parts, and I could get started, but after we just had a move recently, and so I'm kind of taking the time to kind of get settled, get me and my son in a routine, and I have the parts, and every now and again, I'll be sitting here at night, with nothing to do, and I'm like, maybe I'll get started, but then I'm like, I'll watch Attack on Titan because I just started that, or I'll read the manga a little bit and just kind of taking my cool down because after putting out all of these for the Chainsaw Man, I did a lot. I did more here in the last 3 months than I did in about 6 months last year. So I'm getting faster. So now I'm taking the cool down period and just enjoying other people's art for a little bit.
Yeah, that's a whole mood, man. That's a whole mood. Like just having all your pieces laid out, like you want to work on it, but then you're just like, I'll just watch Naruto, I'll just watch Attack on Titan. And then it's just like collecting dust on the side. And but I mean, honestly, all the breaks that you take are definitely like worth it. And for me, when I do that, when I leave my pieces out on the table and I'm like, I'll get to that later, like the whole time I'm like being free and like doing my own thing, like I'm already imagining how I'm going to create my Funko Pop when I come back to it. So when I come back, it feels like I already was making it, like, and you come back and it just like happens so quickly. At least for me, maybe you can relate, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, it
Um,
comes, yeah, I'm the same way. I'll just get a burst of energy out of nowhere, and I'm like, I'm doing this project today. Like, I'm just
yeah.
like, you just get that burst, and it's so much fun because yeah, you'll just knock it out, and and it's so funny too. I think it's also hard with the content piece of it too, because yeah, like Lewis was saying, you don't want to lose engagement and you don't want people to think it's the same thing. There's a lot of that goes into it as well. Like I just recently got the Rengoku, finally it got in the mail. And so I'm like, I want to customize this one, but there's a part of me that's like, oh well, it kind of whispers like, well, this one's already kind of passed, like people already customized this one and moved on. And so there's like a piece of you that's like, oh, I don't want to, be late to the show and not, get the engagement that I'm looking for. So it's definitely overwhelming. There's a lot that goes into it for sure.
Yes, I feel that before Rengoku came out, I had bought a bunch of Demon Slayer pops so that I can like make Rengoku. And then they're like, "Oh, we're releasing him next month." And I'm like, "Oh, nice." Like
Yeah.
I feel that.
You should still make one, dude. It would be so awesome. Cause I'm not, I like this mold, but it's not my favorite. I feel like there's other molds that they can do of him that would look really awesome.
Definitely, definitely.
Someone did him his final scene, if you will, where he's sitting on his knees and he has the hole in his chest and he's got the blood. Someone made that before they made the actual Rengoku pop. Um, and I'm telling you, like after I saw that, I'm like, I want to make that. I want to make that so bad. But also
Yeah.
now that we have an official head sculpt, I want to make Rengoku versus Akaza. That is like I want to make it so bad because that's been my favorite fight so far in Demon Slayer. I loved that fight. So maybe on the dog I'd say, but hey, now we have an official head sculpt to use.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
definitely. That sounds like a cool project.
Um, so I know that you've made a whole bunch of different pieces for a whole bunch of different animes. I actually messaged you a couple weeks ago about the Funko thirst traps. Um, I truly do. I think it's such a it's such a I don't know how to describe it. It's just like so out of like what you expect for Funko. We talked about this a little bit with Pop Therapy. Like when it comes to the horror icons, right? Like it's cute. It has a cute little bobblehead. But it's like Hannibal Lecter. And when it comes to like the other ones, it's like, oh, it's Kakashi. And look at him, he's all muscular, but also it's a
Yeah.
bobblehead. I love it. I just think it's such a I don't. It's just so unique. I really do enjoy seeing when you post those with the sexy Nada stuff like that.
Thank you. Yes. Honestly, I don't even know where that came from. I think the first guy who commissioned me to make Misa Amani from Death Note, he had asked me to make her like extra thick. Like so I was like, okay, like so I'm getting anime dudes like asking me to make extra
Oh
like
yeah.
the body parts extra big, and I'm like, okay. So since then I kind of just had the idea, okay, like let me make a suggestive like Funko Pop, And I started off with Hinata because I was watching Naruto, so I was like, okay, like Hinata, that's like the main chick from Naruto. And then from there, well, Mitsuri, like I'm like learning all the waifus, all the people, all the
Oh yeah.
all the anime chicks that the guys like, and I'm like, okay. And then Kakashi, obviously Kakashi, come on. Like,
Yep. I was gonna say you got
so
to do a Gojo one next. Gojo
Oh,
thirst trap. That one's
okay.
gonna be huge.
With the
For a
Wonder
second,
Con head, yeah, that's the move.
I thought you meant Jogo, but I
No,
was
no,
like,
no.
wait, no. No, 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 no.
I like where this is going. Let's
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. You never know, man. People, yeah, you never
It,
know. It might
it's
pop off.
it's been fun to make those, honestly, and I didn't think that that would even be a thing. It just kind of like came out of nowhere, and then it kind of just like it was a hit. Like so, um, I just kept on going with it, and I plan to expand more on the future. Obviously, you saw the bathtub Mitsuri,
Oh yeah.
and that one was crazy. Like it really, really like took off. I didn't know people liked Mitsuri that much, and they love Mitsuri.
I'm
And
sure.
so yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy drop.
That worked out great. That I remember in that scene in the movie in the in the theater, I had to cover my son's eyes. I was like, "Don't look at this." I was like, "Only for the grown-ups. It's only for the grown-ups."
Yeah,
In the theater I was in, people were like, woo!
Yep.
I didn't get to watch that. Obviously, like the movie, I didn't go watch it because I heard it was just like an extra episode, and I was like, well, I'll just like go and wait till like the season comes out. But I mean, again, I don't sometimes I don't even know the characters, and I'll just like make them, and like I'll like do them based off like the pictures and like the videos, the little clips I find and stuff. So it works out either way, you know.
I love it. Well, that's one thing that we love about anime too, is that there's so many different types, and like there's so many. I'm finding out new ones almost every day, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know this was a thing, and it's huge. And yeah, no, that's definitely a fun part of making these pops. And I love that Funko is now really starting to do a lot of anime, because I
Yeah.
mean they did a lot with the Dragon Ball Z, and but I like that they're starting to expand on different ones, because it's a huge fan base. I think it my brother and I were talking the other day, and we were feeling like we feel like anime is probably like the next big thing. It's
Mhm.
already starting to be that, but like, Marvel Comics was kind of the MCU, and everything was, the mainstream. And I feel like anime now is at a point where it's like, look at these, these fight scenes and these stories. Like AOT is awesome. The storylines are great. And yeah, people love it. So yeah, so it's definitely a fun part of making Funko Pops, is to get to do all these different characters.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Funko sees like there's a market for it, so they're like, let me make more.
Oh yeah, be dudes
Yeah,
hanging out in front of Hot Topic waiting for these things to drop. Yeah, that's
me.
that's where. Yep, that's where I'm at. I'm like, get there 2 hours early, because you never know.
See, at
It's
this point,
insane.
I've accepted. I'm gonna pay the reseller fee.
No, it's
I
too
hate to do
much.
it. I hate to, but it's also like I don't want to get up that early.
Hey,
I,
I mean, if you ever like want to get a Funko and like, I always go hunting. Like I go hunting a lot. And if you guys ever need anything, like let me know and like I can get an extra one. I'm not about
Bro,
that
I will
reseller
take you up
stuff.
on that. Dude, I will take you up on that. There are so many pops that we want.
I'll send you the wish list.
Yep, we'll
Dude,
see. Yeah.
I I go to like at least four hot topics every time there's a new job. I'm like going see what I can get.
That's awesome. No, yeah, you almost have to do that nowadays, because there was what with one of the drops. Oh, it wasn't even a drop. It was just a resell of a restock of Guillaume with the chase.
Oh,
And that
okay.
line was huge. And they only had like two chases. And I'm like, there's no chance you can even get there. The dudes walked out with their hands. They were like, yes, I
I
got
feel
it.
that
I'm like, no, there's just no way.
Well, and
that
so, Augie, are you a One Piece fan?
I barely started watching One Piece, but
Yeah.
I mean I like it. I it's all right. I haven't got that far into it. I think I'm like 30 episodes in. I think
Okay.
I'm just to the part where I met Sanji,
Okay.
but that's as far as I've gone. But why do you ask?
Oh, well, so I know that me and Sleepyhead, we've never seen this show all the way through. I
Oh,
see clips on YouTube, and I think the fight scenes are fantastic, but
Hmm.
more so with the drops that just happened. Not Funko Fair, or was it Funko Fair?
it was like
Where,
WonderCon. Yeah.
I think it was the WonderCon ones. Yeah.
where
Or
it
Wonder.
had was that the Polar Tang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you all hear how quickly that thing sold out?
Yeah. Dude,
Like that was ridiculous.
it was insane.
Was that one that you were going to look for, or because you didn't watch One Piece, you were like,
well, sometimes obviously, like if there's a drop, I think anyone should drop to go. Everyone should go on the drop, you know, like everyone should try to like get the pops because they dropped online at 6 a.m. that day, PST. And
Oh
then
my
so I was like up. I think that was the day I was making Mitsuri. I literally stayed up 24 hours making Mitsuri in the
No
bathtub.
way.
And so I stayed
No
up the
way.
yeah, I stayed up the whole night and then I was up for the drop online and then I was in the queue and then it sold out. Like it's crazy. It's One Piece is like it's crazy.
well, and especially I think it was Funko Fair where they had like the big announcement where like everything on your feed was One Piece. I
Mhm.
mean, the pre-orders were selling out within
Oh,
minutes. It was ridiculous. Which I mean, don't get me wrong, with how few One Piece pops there were, I'm glad that they finally got like a big haul that they can add to their collection. But just when they released like the next, like most recent Naruto wave, I got anxiety. So I can't even imagine how the One Piece fans were feeling. Like that must have been, oh goodness.
and you're not even ready because they're dropping more Naruto pops later on this year. Like
That's gonna be out. Yeah, you got to clear more room on the shelf, dude.
there's at least like 10 that are confirmed.
Oh god.
I don't know if you know about them.
Which ones? Do you know?
Um, oh wait, well Sasuke already got released. That was like leaked a while back. They're
Oh
gonna
yeah, that's
do
just no.
yeah, they're gonna do Datara, I think, from the Akatsuki and Kisame, the fish guy. I think that's his name, right? Yes, it is.
Dang.
Yeah.
And then dang, who else? I had a list, but there's a
They're doing
couple
like an
pops.
Orochimaru 2 one, right? Aren't they? It's like a
Orochimaru,
different, yeah.
I think with the maybe with Katsuki, but I'm not sure. And then
Wow.
Baron mode Naruto.
Dude.
Six he's
Yeah.
a 6-inch Funko Pop. That's gonna be crazy.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm looking forward to buying all of those.
I,
At reseller prices. That's going to be a lot of fun.
not
So,
that. Uh yeah. I have some hookups. So you know, if you guys need some stuff, I can get
Dude,
you
for
retail
sure.
prices.
I'm coming to you first now.
Yeah. Um
That,
I've met a lot of people like going out on like my hunting adventures and like I do a lot of like socializing in person. Even though I'm so nervous today. I don't know if if I'm cold or I'm just nervous or both, but I'm just going with
dude,
the
no,
flow.
we're
But
yeah, no, we're chill. We're
um
good.
no,
You're
like
doing great. You're doing great.
yeah. No, it's okay. I mean, I think I like it. It keeps me on my feet, the nervousness. Like usually I'm socializing in person too, so it's like I'm used to it, but it's just I guess a feeling you can never really shake off completely. Um, but yeah, I socialize a lot, like when I'm out hunting for things and meeting people, and I met some cool people, and like I know some good places to get stuff, you know. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, that's something that I try to do as well, is try and just talk to people and just I mean it's such a niche collection and it like the pop Funko Pops, and so it's so like not everyone collects them, and so you always want to make that friendship because it's something. If you're like a collector like how we are, you want to make those little connections with people that share that same passion. So it's so much fun. That's awesome that you do that, because I've been in some lines where no one wants to talk and they're just all like
Oh,
straightforward. I'm like, okay, I just
I,
was seeing what pops you guys like, but okay.
I always try to talk to people because I'm like, okay, like I'm not about to be here like quiet as hell. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, let's talk. Um, but the Funko community is very small, and I've learned that like everyone knows each other, or like you always have the same names circling around. So it's always good to like not like leave a good impression with people, or just like be kind, to everyone. Not just to like make well, to be friendly, and because you never know like what goes around comes around in a way, and like
Oh, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
That's
like you said, the Funko community is a very niche thing. It's very small. And then, being customizers, where we've taken that small community and cut it in half, really a quarter, honestly. And like you said, it's not a huge community. A lot of the same names go around, but not a lot of us talk to one another. Which is why we said that we wanted to do this, because we wanted to get conversations going and put faces to these profiles, and I don't know, just kind of humanize the experience and not make it like I guess so segmented. Like we want everyone to be together and talking. And when you go to Hot Topic and you're waiting line, actually being able to talk to people and not just staring at your phone.
Yeah. So I'll say this much. The reason why I was so quick to say yes to you guys is because, well, I've seen some of your guys' podcasts. Like I had said earlier, and then yeah, the community part where it's like you're coming together and you're talking to people who like you see like on Instagram and stuff, and it's like, well, hey, like we should be friends, and then um the customizing community is also very small, and I've had very like bad interactions. Like when I first started off, I've reached out, like when I first made the Obito pop, I reached out to a couple like big creators. I don't want to say any names for some reasons, but some people like reached back out and they were kind, and I was like, oh, like how much should I sell my piece for? And like asking like really amateur, like first starting off questions because I was new. And there was one guy who we were talking and stuff, and it was like the conversation was flowing. And then I showed him my Obito pop, and because he asked me to show it to him, and then he stopped replying to me. And in it was it was in the context of like it seemed like he wanted to help me out, and then I showed him and it kind of seemed like he felt like in competition with me. He's like, I don't want to like give my competitor like advice or stuff like that.
How
And
weird.
that's the vibes I was getting.
Yeah.
And ever since then, he kind of like gave me the cold shoulder, and like he's like a really big creator in the Funko community. And ever since then, like I didn't want to be that guy to other people. And that's why I also wanted to come on here because I want to like create a community as well. Like I want people to be like, hey, like that's Augie, like he makes really cool Funko Pops, and like let me ask him questions. And then like obviously like I can give out certain like answers. I'm not gonna give out all my secrets, because everyone has their secrets, everyone has their stuff, but I can give you tips that I know will be helpful, and it's like it's gonna help you out. I'm not gonna gatekeep everything. I'm not gonna keep everything to myself. Like
Right.
obviously I can tell you like what I use, but at the end of the day, it's like my skill and my talent is gonna like show differently to somebody else. But I don't mind sharing my tools and like my resources because it'll help someone else like figure things out on their own the way I did, and at least they'll have like a jump start to it. And so yeah, that's why I joined your guys' podcast, because I'm like, if you guys do put this out there, I want to like let people know like that we should like be more connected in our community and not be so closed off. Like um if people think that because someone does better work than you, like you're in competition, I actually don't feel that way at all. I feel like there's so many people who want custom pops, and there's so many customizers. Like you can't possibly make customs for every single customer, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you scared about? Like why would you feel like in competition or like with other people? Like there's so many people to go around to fulfill like their needs and stuff. Like we need to be more connected in that sense. Yeah.
No, I love it.
Dude, yeah,
One of the things
beautifully
that
said.
whenever I see people posting on Instagram, if I see something I really like, I like to share it and get
Yeah.
all the people who are following me to go look at it. And I know that some people don't like sharing other people's work because of that competition mindset. But I mean, I've met so many people through Instagram just sharing work and having my work shared, and then we start talking about tips and tricks. That's how me and Andy met. We saw some of each other's stuff, we shared it, we started talking because our styles are night and day. But
Yeah.
we just talk, and he's given me advice, I've given him advice, and we've been able to build a podcast out of it. And
Yeah.
build the community. And every guest that we've had on, we have a group chat running with them, and they show us their stuff, and like we talk about it, and they tell us like how they did stuff. It is just it's a really cool I don't know, just a venue that we've gotten to build. And we get people coming on, and we've seen people commenting on our videos talking about how it inspired them to want to make customs. And I don't know, it kind of feels like we're achieving what we set out to.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, I saw some of your guys' videos and I was like, that's really cool. Like I think that's a really good thing you guys are doing. And it's very like inclusive to the community. And yeah, I think definitely you are inspiring people to like make customs and yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for saying that. That's awesome. We are, yeah, 100% in that camp. I think we've all experienced those interactions that didn't go quite the way we wanted them to, and so it's definitely difficult to put yourself out there again. That's one thing that I'm learning, even just reaching out to other customizers asking to come on the podcast, like, hey, can you just come on and talk for an hour and trying to sell it up, and it's even that's kind of difficult a little bit, and so it's so fun to find people that are like-minded, that do that want to just share. And obviously, you like you said, you don't want to share everything because the people have their trademarks and people have their own ways of doing things, and so um
Yeah.
it's totally, I get that. And so, but yeah, to be like, to giving people the cold shoulders and just gatekeeping is just not what we're about. We definitely want, especially with something that's so specific, and like, like Lewis said, it's a fourth of the community of Funko Pops, customizers and collectors. And so it's very important to get together and just enjoy each other's work, because that no one else is doing this. It's such a random hobby that we do, that we love so much. Like, why wouldn't we want to share that with someone who also loves it as well? So that's awesome. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. I want to add to that. I think that um obviously like I feel like there's two different kinds of people who like reach out for advice and stuff. There's people who you can tell like they want to get something out of you. And then there's people who are like literally brand new and they're just asking you questions. And I think you can differentiate that pretty quickly. And I think that's when you know how much you can say to certain people. But I
Mhm.
think definitely yeah, like I don't know. I feel like I was new and like that bad interaction made me like want to never be that person. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys can relate. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. We talked about when we first started out, we talked about this a little bit actually with pop therapy, that it's so hard to find advice when you're first starting. We were watching miniatures, like people who paint miniatures to try to figure out like tips and tricks to do what we're doing. And in the last couple of years, it's weird how much I've seen the community just like pop off since COVID happened. Um, but it's been now that there is a lot more advice out there and there's a lot more videos out there showing how to do stuff, giving people, I think, the proper resources to at least get the fundamentals and start. It's such a crucial thing to getting more people and getting the community to grow, because if someone fails their first time and they don't have anyone to reach out to, they're probably going to put it down and stop trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting your art out there is definitely difficult. It's like we said, it's like a part of you that you're putting out there for people to see, and you're like, I want this to be cool because I love Naruto or Demon Slayer. I want other people that like it to like this as well. So yeah, it's definitely difficult to get that criticism, or get the, there's also the praise too, which is amazing, and people reach out and they want to start doing it too. So it's two sides of the same coin. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely something that we need to be more open with, I think. So
Yeah, I think that it doesn't really like cost you that much to just leave like a nice comment on somebody's thing, even like a fire emoji, anything to
mhm.
just show your support, a like. I always anytime like I want to support someone, I literally like it, comment, and then I save their post so that way it has more like it's like in the algorithm, you know?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Oh, that
Um,
stupid algorithm.
yeah, yeah.
We could talk all about that thing. Lewis and I, we've been trying to tap into what time we think it's like 2 a.m. to try and get certain markets. We're
yeah.
like, we never know when that time drop is.
I feel like definitely. So aside from like taking photos of my Funko Pops the way I do, the time that you post is also very important. You can't just post like in the middle of the night.
Mm-mm.
That's not gonna work out. You have to do it like I want to say like you have to like look at your following and like there's like analytics. I don't know if you have like an artist page or anything like that,
Mhm.
but it shows you like a dashboard of like where most of your community is from. And then you can use that to like figure out since most of my like fan base is from like LA, I usually post like around 12 noon and never go past like 3 p.m. really. I feel like that's like a really like sweet spot to post. Um, so that's also something that's a tip that people can use, like the time you post is really important. Um, and yeah, I wanted to also add on to the thing you guys were saying earlier that people start off and they put their art out there, like kind of exposing themselves. And like, you know, I like I think that my work is like really good, I know like my value, I know like my quality of my work. I think my work is good and I put a lot of hard work into it. When I first started off, obviously like my stuff wasn't good, like it wasn't as good. So like for anybody who's like starting off, like it's don't be like disencouraged to like fail, because that's how you get better and better. I've made the
Mhm.
same pop like 4 or 5 times, and every single time there's like improvements to it. So it's like you got to keep putting yourself out there and failing and like trying new things, because that's how you get to that level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, 100%. No, that's so true. That's something that just artists in general have to deal with, is like starting out a new form of art is incredibly difficult. You have no idea what you're doing. And so being able to get over that and just know like I'm gonna get better at this. It's gonna, it's not gonna be great at first, but yeah, it's you got to keep with it and you got to keep going. And so yeah, so that's what we would like to encourage any new artists, or even artists that are veterans, because like we said, burnout's real. You feel like,
Mhm.
oh, is my stuff even good anymore? You never know it. You get into your own head. And so yeah, just keep making Funko Pops. We love seeing them.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I mean, okay, backtracking a bit, like sharing people's posts. Like normally I share people's posts sometimes, not because like I don't want people to see their stuff, just because like I feel like my content is very like curated. So I try not to post like super irrelevant things, or like I won't like I'll share things every now and then when it comes to that part, not
Hmm.
because like I'm like, oh, I don't want people to see their stuff or like steal my followers or anything like that. But definitely when people share your stuff, it really helps, because sometimes when I drop stuff, I'll have like 5 or 10 shares. Like Mitsuri had like 10 shares, and like so many new people came in because of that.
Yep.
So aside, like if people share your stuff, it really helps. And then I'm backtracking to, what were you saying? I don't know anymore. I forgot.
You're good.
I'll think about it later.
Okay.
I have to ask you, since you said you're in the LA area, are you a baseball fan?
I don't know.
Not really. No. Okay. I just asked. I'm a huge Dodgers fan. Like my
Gotcha.
family's all from LA, and so I was just curious if you were also a Dodgers fan.
Literally live like 15 minutes away from the Dodger Stadium, but I've never been.
No kidding. Oh, you got to go to a game. It's fun. It's not as exciting as as like a basketball game. I will give you that, but I'm a huge baseball fan, so I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm right there with you. I'm not a huge sports guy myself.
like no hate to it, just I'm not into it,
I hear you. No, you're good.
Um, I think we are coming up on time. Um, Augie, is there anything that you want to, point the audience towards? Anything that you're working on that you want to tell everyone about?
Well then, what am I working on? I'm always working on something. Uh, I don't know. My commissions are gonna open up soon. I'm excited and I'm also nervous, because it's like, yay, a whole bunch of more work, but I'm looking forward to that. I'm really grateful to have been invited to your podcast. I will share this and I will try to get more people to come on here. We do want that for the community. I hope that people who watch this, and of course you guys, reach out more often, if you guys need anything. Um, I came into the Funko customizing scene not really knowing anything, and I kind of learned everything on my own. And now that I have like these skills, I am more than willing to share with people. I know how to make customs, like the sculpting, I know how to do the painting, I've learned how to make my own boxes, you know, so if anyone needs help making any of those things, like,
Yeah, we
oh,
do. That's us.
um,
We will be messaging you soon.
yes. So that's, yeah, thank you guys for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. It's been so much fun talking to you. We appreciate everything you've said. Yeah, everybody go check out Augie's page. Uh, if you haven't already, I mean, you got a huge following. Everyone's knows about Augie, so yeah, check it out. Get ready for the new projects. I'm excited.
Thank you guys. Yes, yes. And like I said, I'll definitely shout you guys out. You know, let's get more followers into your guys' following because you need them, you know? You guys deserve more praise for what you're doing. And I hope that this blows up, you know?
Thank you.
Thank you, dude. Thank you.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, I guess we do the normal YouTuber spiel, you know, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you all in the next one. Augie, again, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure talking to you in our messages, and we love getting to talk to you in person. So thank you so much for coming. We'll see you all in the next episode.
All right. Thank you guys.